You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 19 for July 2nd, 2017. And welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey John, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Alan?
I'm in a weird state of being for Saturday, and I haven't even drank any coffee yet.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, it's probably for. I'm gonna leave it sealed for the day, or at least for while we're recording. So how you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, it's been. I just finished a major project at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot of time on that, like an entire quarter on that. So there was that, and now I'm just kind of winding down. Got some vacation coming up in like another week of work. So yeah, great.
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
It's hot around here. It's hot.
I heard you had some problems with airplanes not lifting off and stuff.
Oh, really? That I didn't hear about.
In I think it was in Phoenix.
Well, Phoenix is notoriously a hot area, but more dry than humid. So it's more of a dry heat kind of thing. So even though the temperature numbers are always high, it's a very, you can walk through the world pretty easily by comparison to an environment when it's hot here. It's also, the humidity is pretty bad on top of it.
So yeah, but it's been good here. It was hot here for a bit, for like a week, and then now it's raining again, like, the usual Dutch weather. Yeah, and I've been working on building the acrylic 3D printer. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, I really need to get some time to actually finish that thing.
Yeah, I made some coding efforts towards some projects maybe a couple of weeks ago, and really the only time I have bandwidth for it is like on the weekend, right? So maybe today I will feel the mood. But every once in a while, something on Steam, I'll play a game or something. It'll kill my attention.
It was a Steam sale, right?
Yeah,
Did you buy anything?
I only bought something that got discounted for something that was on my wish list. Something called Shell Shock Live. It's basically like a tank game. Back in the, I don't know, there was a 486 game called Scorch Earth. I've seen there's like Atomic Cannon. I've played. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. I have a multi-pack, so I can gift you a copy. We can play against each other if you like.
Yeah. I think I scorched Earth out a while back.
I don't know. I thought it was fun. I think it's a pretty good modern iteration of it. It has skirmish and it has campaigns, and the campaigns can get challenging because they put obstacles and stuff in the way, like bounce back boards. There's this one where the only goal is you have to hit this target. The target is right above your tank, but right behind the target is a bounce back board, and so you have to get the target without killing yourself, and you have like one shot. And
I think this is also the game where they made a ruler for it, like a paper ruler, so they could find what angle and what
oh really?
How much power you should play at? Yeah. I'll show you a video. Maybe that's
I always kind of just I run my finger along the line, like do the arc, and I just project if my assumption is correct. And most of the time, I'm only like level 13, I think. I haven't been playing that long, but most of the time I can figure out. One or two shots I can narrow in pretty quickly. It's when you put wind settings and stuff like that, environmental stuff that throws you off a little bit. That's the variance, or you have obstacles like portals or bounce objects in the way that can totally mess me up. But usually, a few shots I can narrow in. But when you play like skirmish, they keep a whole bunch of things change a lot, so you have to end up keep readjusting. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I can eye it. I'm not like sniper level, not all the time. Sometimes you guess right first time, and then boom, you got it, and then you can just demolish your enemy. But I don't know. It ate up some of my time last night instead of me programming.
Hmm.
Yeah. So otherwise, anything I'm doing is like TV lately. Otherwise, killing it with games.
Been producing a lot of content, making lots of Minecraft videos.
Yeah.
I've recorded like 17 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and I have 4 episodes released, or the fourth is going to be released tomorrow. So by the time this airs, it'll be four episodes. So there's a lot of stuff to edit. That's going to be me tomorrow. But yeah, I'm getting a new car on Monday.
Oh,
That's also
really?
cool. Yeah.
I saw your car wash video.
Yeah.
Did
I was
you
like,
did you see my comment?
yeah. What I thought was I was going into the car wash. I was like, hey, maybe I should just turn on the iPhone, just let it record
Yeah.
going through. I saw some people that posted videos of like driving in the car in the rain or something like that
Yeah.
for an hour, no voices.
Right.
It's like
There's
some
that.
people listen to that to get to sleep.
What is the
Like,
what's the one with the train? The like 9 hour train ride or something? There's a train ride and someone took video of it. It's the front of the front of the train, and it goes on for hours. And it's like one of the most popular videos on YouTube, where people just let it
that's
run in the
actually pretty cool.
background, and it's
Hmm.
apparently really serene and quiet, and it's just this ever moving thing for, I mean, hours. It's crazy.
You know, what you should do is like make a video of like the middle of nowhere, like some canyon or something, with um, just the stars.
Right? Yeah.
But you have to get like a very light sensitive camera for that. If you
Well,
want to actually see
I
like something like the
sh-
Milky Way or something.
sure. Right. Yeah. You would need, if you could, if it like it's not even possible for you to buy even like a red camera and record. Those things are meant for like film, like filming situations. So, like a real movie film camera, those mags only last 10 minutes,
Yeah.
right? So that's why everything is a very calculated. Okay, retake, redo that little snippet, right? They're filming for editing. They're not filming for one shot. And in digital land, okay, fantastic. But then you get into high quality, raw kind of camera systems like Red, and those they call them mags actually, and the Red mags, they only last so long because
Hmm.
the bit rates and the bandwidth on those things is incredibly high. I mean, they're literally like solid state hard drives in those
Yeah.
Red mags, and they're only, you can't record 10 hours on one of those Red mags. It's not
Yeah. I mean, also
never gonna
also about
happen.
the light that you need to capture, right? Because you can't just put up a video camera and videotape the sky and get like the Milky Way, for example.
Well, right, but so my bringing up a Red camera is something that has high high quality sensors. I mean, enormously
Yeah.
crazy high sensors. What you can do is it will pick up things that are invisible to you when you just look at the flat video. And then you can start putting color grading on it and, do some post processing, and you can bring out those things that are caught, that you didn't see originally. And then you can
Yeah.
combine that with like daylight, and then, go ahead and pull out all the things out of the sky through color grading and mix them together as one video.
What you could also do is have like you could do like a time lapse camera, record the audio as well, and
Um,
you just
well,
do
yeah,
it that
it
way.
wouldn't actually be much of anything actually if you're doing it through like actual. So what a lot of people do in the time lapse is they're really doing more like hyperlapse. Like Casey Neistat, by
Yeah.
example, his time lapse is he's just doing one thing for 20 minutes. So he sits still for 20 minutes. He lets his camera run, and then he just speeds a part of that up. And
Yeah.
it's basically dropping a tremendous amount of frames when you rapidly speed it up, which is more like hyperlapse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what happens inside Premiere, inside the editing software. It just kills
Yeah.
frames, and it gives you a really smooth looking time lapse. But technically, that's not a time lapse at all. That's just video sped up. Um, so a time lapse is supposed to be whatever the ratio is from a camera, a still camera, taking a still shot, you know, one whatever the interval is per frame, and
Mm.
calculate it out that way. And there's bulb ramping, and there's some other things that you can do on the intervalometers to create that so you get a better look. But ultimately, you can use software. There's software like LR Timelapse. I have a copy of it. I've not updated it in a while. It's expensive. But what you can do is you can shoot raw on your DLSR if you got a good one. And then you use Lightroom and that software piece, combined, and it will go ahead and will do all the adjustments for you, and you get your frames kind of aligned, and you can come up with some really superb, I mean, tremendously awesome time lapse from out of that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just a very long process, and yeah, for something like that, yeah, you could let a camera or a couple cameras run for days, for days.
Well, it kind of depends on the camera, right?
Right.
Because you're going to have power issues, and you're also going to have the heating up of the sensor,
Yeah.
right? That's going to cause noise. So you need something to cool that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got condensation issues. I've had that. I've done a time lapse in the middle of the night, and by the morning the lens was fogged up, just because of
I remember that was neat. That was one with your fisheye lens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I should do a new time lapse sometime.
Yeah,
I think it's a good idea.
I've been meaning to do that. It's just that the camera that I bought a DLSR, and the reason I have invested a lot of money in it is because I've been taking care of other things, and so buying a new DLSR was just not a thought yet. I mean, it's been a thought. It's been a constant thought. But it's not a thought to drop a lot of money on it because I definitely want to get, some part of me wants to oppose mirrorless cameras, but there's a lot of good stuff happening there. And so I'm opening my mind up to it. But anything to get a really good body with anything that has a good lens gets me out of the Canon brand, which means my lens aren't compatible, so I got to restart there.
Yeah, or just get an adapter for it.
And getting glass is always complicated, isn't it? It's just because it's a lot of money. It costs it costs just as much, if not more, than
the fisheye lens I bought was actually not that expensive.
Right. So
but it was really good.
But there's a bunch of ones that you can get out of China that have sort of they've become sort of namesakes, but they weren't before. Which are like cheap manufacture, and there's really no quality. And so you'll hear someone buy like whatever lens that you bought, it's really cheap, it's really good, and then the next three people will buy one, and it's crap, right? So sometimes it's not, and those are usually mostly manual lenses, so they don't integrate with any of the electronic intelligence.
It's a manual lens too.
Yeah, with your normal. With more modern cameras, but putting past the point is that buying a new camera body, anything that's really nice that can handle like lighting situations really well, they're going to cost you several $1,000s US dollars here, and so that money could go towards a new laptop or a new monitor or you know what I mean, like and I look at my pattern for using the camera, and it's just not enough to drop that much money on a thing I don't use as part of my daily driver in my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because I've bought a camera and I've hardly ever used it.
Yeah. And so as much as I want to do a good time lapse, really the best ones to get, the ones I'm most interested, is the ones that are literally going from day to night. And that takes a lot of time and patience, and there's really nothing tremendously interesting to time lapse around where I live, so it's one of those things where you got to make it a destination project. So yeah,
I should do that sometime.
Yeah,
random place somewhere.
I have a Kickstarter called Spark, the guys who made the Micron and made the other device that I got from them that was really nice, which I haven't used also, which is an intervalometer, is coming out. I'll get that soon, maybe this year. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
Kickstarter. They rarely ever miss deadlines, but to the point. Maybe I'll talk about it here one day.
We should do a time lapse something or other for Polymatic at
Yeah,
some
I
point.
think one day both of us should synchronize a vacation and go somewhere, and then we can take
Yeah,
time lapses there.
yeah. Death Valley or something like that, right?
Yeah, well, there's a reason to call it Death Valley.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we did have a topic for
We
today.
did.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot, actually. I think this is maybe just for the first time we actually make it a main topic. We're gonna talk a little bit about Minecraft. Um, so you've been Minecrafting since 2015?
Probably, yeah, and so I'm more of a casual Minecrafter. Of course, when I started out, it took a lot longer to do things than it does for me to do it today, right?
Yeah,
And I spend time when I edit throughout the week down here. I will be in a moment of spending time down here, and something will remind me of something that I did when I was starting out Minecrafting for hours on end, late
yeah.
into my night, in a very unhealthy manner down here, downstairs in the studio.
I'm sorry for infecting you with Minecraft.
Yeah, but you weren't the only one. When it was the sort of the crazy thing for everybody, people were pushing on me left and right. Oh, you get into Minecraft, you really like it. It's the
Well,
same
they
kind
were
of.
correct, right?
Hmm?
They were correct.
Well, I mean,
You would
there is
really
a
like it.
lot to it. However, back in like the beginning of Minecraft, it's the way it is today is not the way it was. You know what I mean? It was still rough around the edges, even though it was a great beginning of something. It was still rough around the edges in that first, in the
Yeah,
first delivery of it existing in the world, right? So it took some time, right, for it to be better. They didn't have Circus, they didn't have Redstone right away. These are things that were added, I think, later over the evolution of
yeah,
Minecraft. And so, as it is today, it is a far more well-rounded, complete product where people are making their own games out of it.
yeah.
Um, so,
Games inside games.
yeah, and so for me, maybe if I was there when all of it was happening, I'm not necessarily one to embrace fads because that's the thing everyone's screaming about. So I remember back in the day that I would spend a tremendous amount of time Minecrafting, but it was like an additional outlet to dump a creative space, right?
Yeah,
That required some challenge because anything that I do that's creative that doesn't have some kind of challenge then isn't me working towards any kind of or any kind of goal, right? Like
yeah,
hitting that mastery level. I think that's what keeps me motivated to do things. Is once I hit a mastery level, unless there's something that pushes me to motivate me to execute again, I usually like, yeah, no, I'm good. I've proved to myself I could do that, and
that's the problem if you play Minecraft
yeah,
and you suddenly enable the creative mode.
right.
Creative mode just ruins everything for me.
So I don't live in creative mode. At best, I'll always stay in survival.
Yeah,
And what I've been doing lately is I don't turn creative mode on, but I will turn on, like, I'll switch on the game mode and I'll do what you showed me, which is I'll float through things to get to another area, and then I will pop back out, and then I'll put myself back in survival. So I like the idea of making the hard effort of building.
yeah.
Um, but there are mods you can do to do shortcuts, and I haven't fully embraced that yet. For me
Have
personally.
you even enabled mods? Have you done? Have you used Forge and stuff
No,
before?
I
Or?
haven't anything because I was concerned at risk it was gonna brick basically my game, and I heard about the horror stories, right? And so that's the only reason I haven't done any huge mods lately. Plus, I also wanted to. Um, there's still a lot for me to learn about Minecraft, and I have not mastered Minecraft as much as
Yeah,
I will spend an occasional amount of hours on my weekend, here and there. I don't do it like every night, every weekend. Like it doesn't replace TV for me, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing Minecraft for a very long time now. I've been making videos, uh, doing a hardcore playthrough, hardcore mode. I've done a normal game mode, but I didn't put any commentary on it under it, and I started doing a hardcore thing. That was actually a lot of fun. I haven't been playing that for a while because I've been switched over to a different system, playing modded Minecraft. So I've gathered a few mods, a specific set of mods to explore, and I've been playing a sort of a themed game with a colleague of mine. Yeah, it's called Evil Genius Craft. Been doing that for a bit, and I really like the fact that with the modded Minecraft, a lot of new recipes come along, so you can. I've discovered most of the recipes in the normal Minecraft, right? So I've done that, been there, done that. I've killed a couple of Ender dragons. I'm like, yep, seen it. Now it's time for something else. So I started modding Minecraft, and uh, it's like the addition of the new crafting recipes is like it's an entire new game.
Mm-hmm.
You can build storage systems. No more 1,000 chests of cobblestone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You can just stack them and put them in drives. Great.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. We all know that Minecraft has handicaps built in intentionally. It's what's to force you to, and this is what like real life is. If money was not a factor, right? People would do whatever, and then they would get bored and content, and then they wouldn't proceed. It's the same thing with like Elon Musk. The only reason he does it is because there's a challenge and there's a reason to do something that the world would benefit as a whole. And
Yeah.
if there was no challenge in it for him, if there was no challenge at all, I am convinced he wouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
And so he's just, for him, what motivates him is the extraordinary challenge, not the minor challenge, right?
Yeah.
It's the minor things are like, oh, that could be easily solved. Yeah, sure. We have let's do the boring company, right, and solve the problem because no one else will. So I mean, at some point, there's. I don't think I hope you and I never see the content bored Elon Musk.
Have you seen the Twitter handle called Bored Elon Musk?
Is there really?
Yeah, there is. It's so funny.
But without getting on a tangent about the Musk watch. So yeah, I don't know. I think me not embracing the mods just yet has been I haven't reached the level you hit. You've hit beyond mastery, right? And you still like living in this space, but you want something more out of it. And
I want more of a challenge.
yeah, you want and for me, what I've been doing is not letting me. If I need to figure out something I forgot, I'll just look it up. Gamepedia is fantastic for that, and I go, oh great,
Yeah.
that's what it is, and then I'll go make the recipe. Um, you know,
That's also one of the cool mods. There's a mod in there that is called Just Enough Items, and with it you can just scroll through all the items and see what you need to make the item.
yeah. Well, I'm playing on the desktop, the Java version. So are you, right? So
Yeah.
that's the original classic, and now there is variations of it. There's a Pocket Edition that shows up on iPhones and Android devices, and then there is also now the Windows 10 edition.
Yeah, that's the same code base.
It's
I
the
think.
same code base, and what I've been doing is I'm seeing one person I watch that does YouTube videos, and it has the new things in it, which don't work for me on a cell phone, and I've not really played the Windows 10 edition. I didn't like it because the things that the Pocket edition had, the Windows 10 edition was based on, and I didn't like that either. But it has search, like be able to search for search for cobblestone or whatever it is. Like, I think the desktop version is a little more tasked to being organized a certain way, and the thinking is significantly different in the sort of universal edition, which is what the Windows 10 edition is based on.
I just hope they don't kill the Java Minecraft, but they might eventually.
Yeah, that's possible. However, I've seen some nice things going on in the Windows 10 edition. Um, so maybe possibly, and this is where they've integrated like you can buy a mod, right? For next to nothing, so you can come up with your Adventureland,
Yeah.
or and basically build your own game, and then people could give you a little bit of money for it.
Yeah, but I think that Minecraft on its own is already pretty well sold, right?
Right, yeah.
A lot of money. I just think that if they are going to take it over and they're going to put everything in Windows 10, you can't play it on Mac anymore because those versions don't work on Mac.
What
It doesn't work on PlayStation.
the new Java version?
There's no Java version.
Well, the new
Then
desktop version or whatever it is.
the Windows 10 version is not Java.
No, I understand that. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the standard desktop version that you and I play.
Yeah, so it's 1.12 just came out,
Yeah, yeah.
and I hope they don't kill the Java version because that thing is very popular and
Yeah.
a lot of people play it and they paid for it.
Yep. And
I had to pay. I had to pay for a new account last week for my brother because he his account he forgot his password
oh,
and he wasn't able to recover it. So yeah, and he's kind of a you know. So now I have that password too, so because can't trust somebody to not forget their password.
I definitely can see, I've always made the comment about Minecraft is this is sort of the modern game equivalent of Legos to date, right?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I would spend hours, in the dining room that we never used, and I'd spread out and I'd build my little self a city, and I had enough Legos I could do something reasonable, and I would spend hours constructing and building. And for me, this is the same kind of thing, except just like back then, there was like no point. It was just I had a project
Yeah.
and I did a thing. So
And then you crushed it.
usually not. I would just put it on the bar, and then keep building other things. And so the only kind of thing that was they want to bring up that is some new things that they have in the desktop, which is actually nice, is they added something called functions, right? So this isn't really a mod, but it's something. It's like a plugin you can put into your Minecraft world. And so I
Oh,
found
you
that.
mean the command blocks?
No, not command blocks, functions. So you can create a function and then call a function, and it's basically like a script that will run actions for you. So I heard about the one about a circle, where you can create a circle, because apparently they're notoriously hard to calculate if you're just planning it out. It takes forever, especially if
Yeah.
you're doing something bigger than, let's say, like 4 blocks. So I went and where I heard about it, I grabbed a circle function, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to try this out. And that's the last time I Minecraft. I went into my world and I found a spot, and what it does is it doesn't fill the circle in, it just creates the ring. And so I used this function and created this. I don't know, I would say the diameter was internally is at least 10, but externally I made like a ring that was like 11, that was coated, let's say, with cobblestone or something, right? And then
Yeah.
internally I lined it with something else, and then I would bring the ring in from 11 to basically down to 2, and then from there you could hop up and create floors out of it, and I created this big cylindrical tower. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is actually, it takes a little coordination, but this is actually a good rapid way of building big buildings. So so that, I think that's a neat thing they added in the
Yeah.
latest version of
Well,
the
if they
desktop.
do something like Lua,
Yeah.
if they do like a Lua thing for
Hmm.
Minecraft, and they would do that across all versions, so Minecraft, Java, the Windows 10,
Right.
and then people could write their own mods in Lua,
Well, I
and
mean,
maybe ability to add new items and stuff and textures.
those command block snippets. I mean, how are those things written? Because I've never really looked at them. I just see people copy and paste them.
Yeah, basically they're packed JSON, and they build new blocks,
Right.
and with those blocks, usually with sand and stuff, I don't know exactly, but they basically pack a piece of command into something else, and that gets unwrapped, and then finally it is
Hmm.
that's the command that gets executed.
And
But there's like a lot of commands.
I didn't look at the circle function exactly, but I suspect it's probably a very similar kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
just that you're saying, okay, call this thing instead of having to build a command block that builds a thing that, puts this massive monolith on your, in your world where you click a button that does, creates all
Yeah.
unicorns as horses or something, whatever it might be.
Yeah, or you just modify a model or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Minecraft is good because it has a lot of freedom to it, and then if you really want to be dorky about it and nerd out, you can do that too. And then there's circuits and there's all kinds of things about it. So I think it has a lot going for it that has challenge. It takes a while. I mean, how long did it take before you hit your sort of your mastery level with Minecraft? Years,
Well,
right?
Yeah. I don't know. I started playing Minecraft a lot when I got it. It was like I got it on a Friday night a long time ago, and I spent the entire night playing. And then when it was 6 a.m., I was like, "Yay! I got everything covered." So I got a lot of stuff done in those hours. But
My worst
the mastery took a bit. Yeah.
from aside from weekends, my worst scenario was when I started was I get home around 6, and then I'd be playing until like 3 a.m. and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. So then I would put that into the weekend, and then but also in the same respect, I hadn't discovered things like I hadn't built up enough experience. I haven't found lapis yet where I could go ahead and enchant things. Like I didn't know those things yet. And now that I know those things, I almost go there very quickly, as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
If I'm not like in creative mode or something where I just like, give myself an anvil, right? And go ahead and give myself things, right? With cheat modes turned on. So if I don't just do that and I earn my way there, yeah, sure, it takes a lot longer. But then what you learn is once you've enchanted your pickaxe, and let's say you have a diamond pickaxe and stuff like that, like, constructing and mining is incredibly fast by comparison with when you start out that first night.
Yeah.
And so, what I could have been very effective and efficient for me many years ago, I don't have, I can efficiently do a lot of stuff in 30 minutes today compared to when I started out. So, so some people might be like, oh, I don't want to do Minecraft. That sounds like a horror story. Why would I want to do that? And if you turn cheat modes on and you do a little research, you can make it a real fun, quick scenario for you. You won't have much
Yeah.
challenge, but you can get the things. Give yourself 1,000 diamond pickaxes if you like. I don't know where you put them.
Well, in hardcore mode, you can turn on
Cheats.
the cheats. So
Yeah.
that's also one of the reasons I started playing in hardcore mode,
Mhm.
because it's a lot of fun. Because there is an actual chance you can't finish it because you die,
Yeah.
right? But so I've recently been playing on a modded server.
Yeah.
I started first. I wanted to host it myself. Well, you can't do mods on the realms, the official realms. That's kind of a bummer. But you can do mods on something you host somewhere else.
Right.
So either you have a virtual machine you rent somewhere, or you have something like a specific game hosting service that does this. I've been doing that on MC Pro hosting. So far it has been good. I pay about $25 a month for a server that has lots of mods on it, and I mean a lot of mods.
Already built
So
in.
lots of.
Already built in.
No. I got a pack from Curse,
Yeah.
and I decided, well, this is a lot of mods. I just want certain mods, so I stripped out everything I don't need, and then I added some other stuff that I did want, and that finally became the pack that I'm using.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But turns out that you need certain mods, they get a little bit weird. They produce a lot of lag, so you have to tweak it a little bit until you finally say, hey, this is the stuff I start.
Yeah, got you. So is Evil Genius sort of a self-titled, or is that a mod itself?
No. Evil Genius is me and the other Alan,
Right.
The Alan that was on
Yep.
the show
Mhm.
earlier. We play against each other. We have a achievement book that we need to complete,
Right.
and we need to start harassing each other with pranks, and getting each other, preventing each other from completing certain achievements.
Well, the reason I asked is because it seems like what you guys are using has something in it that already has villagers with certain names and certain things going on. Like it's already like a scripted.
Yeah, that's because I did that.
Oh, okay, got it.
Because I built a village there,
Okay.
and
So
turns out that the village is on top of a mine, a huge, actually a very big mining tunnel system. So that's going to be fun to explore that.
Yeah, okay, got it. So with Evil Genius, what you guys did, or what you did, is you essentially created yourself a gaming system with these mods and created all this work that the two of you have to complete.
Yeah, but it's also to explore those mods, right? So we have specific ones for specific mods. We have to build a extreme reactor,
Right.
or
Okay.
build a nether portal. Then you can get Wings the Bat, and then you can fly around, which is awesome.
Right.
And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't progress as fast.
Right.
It's also the reason why I do why the achievements are there is because you can get certain items, and the items will speed up the progression of the game, so we can actually get to the, kidnapping each other's pig. That's one of you need to get a pig and a henchman, and you need to name them, and they are yours, and the other guy is supposed to kidnap them. And I've lost about 5 henchmen so far, mainly due to lava incidents or
I saw the one.
zombies coming in.
Yeah,
I think I'm up to Steve 4 or 5. I think it's 5 by now. Yeah, that's painful.
So if you want to do extreme Minecraft, modding, right? You really need something that's out of like the Minecraft realms, right? So that's what MC Pro Hosting is good for.
Yeah, but there's like plenty of other different companies. This is just the one that I ended up going with because they replied to my response. They replied to my questions really fast.
Right. Okay, that's good.
I was like, so how does this work? I've got a few questions, and they replied very fast, very
Cool.
And that's why I like them.
Yeah, so for anyone who's interested in maybe doing something or proceeding something along that line, polymatic.link/81.
That is an affiliate link. So there is a link in there with you came from me.
Right. So that's cool. I don't know. I mean, there's some part of me that wants to get some of the group in OG interested in Minecraft to a point where their opposition might be, I don't have the time, and oh, by the way, I don't want to spend $30. Like, that I understand for some of these people that are here on the show, that is what's keeping them from getting into Minecraft. Because
in some cases
they're also interested in other games, right? And their time is consumed by those things that are like, Steam Summer Sale. Oh, that's only $5, right? So, yeah.
I bought a new game called Planet Nomads.
Yeah.
There's lots of different games that are like this, but this one actually has you able to build all sorts of crazy contraptions and machines and stuff. So I'm looking into that maybe as like the next step in Minecraft.
All right, I'll wait to see where you are because it sounds familiar. I don't know if you've talked about this before or I saw.
No, I'm gonna do a video about it because it's still in like early access.
Mm-hmm.
There's no official beta or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally not looking for Minecraft-like things. I'm looking for something that has a place for me to live in. Starbound is interesting, and I played it at the beginning of the year because I got heavy comment from a couple people that, in my general life, they were like, yeah, you got to play Starbound. Oh, Starbound is really good. Oh, I'm really into it. Da, 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 da. And it does have an end. And it's got, I don't know, they say, well, it's Minecraft like. Well, it's really not. It's not my
It's from the side. Man,
it's
come
not
on.
even that. It's not because it's not 3D. It's got, yeah, you have to go around, you have some challenges, you have some, it's not a generic enemy like there's, in Minecraft they're just spawn mobs, and some of them are bad and some of them are okay. Um and so, your enemy is not really so much a targeted part of a larger story arc, right, in Minecraft. It's just that's your obstacle. Where in something like Starbound, there's a grander point of defeating these enemies aside from getting credits or getting hurt or whatever. Um, and so there is apparently an end, and you can live in that world, and the music's great. But it doesn't fill that same spot as like Minecraft does for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, I think that if Minecraft were to do some new content to it instead of the we add new colored blocks, we add new animals like the parrots they did in 112.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think they would add like a new dimension or a new somewhere like an end more of an end game. Like the end is not actually the end because there's end cities that you can go and ransack.
Yeah.
But yeah, something a little bit more challenging, or maybe some more dungeons and stuff
Mm-hmm.
inside the world, like more generation for villages, maybe cities,
Yeah,
right?
that would
Where
be
you can,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
So we were talking a lot about Minecraft. So I mean, I think it's worthy of taking at least a minute or two to talk. Um, so Minecraft as a whole has its level of difficulty ranges, right? And as I was saying, there's different kind of mobs, and some are good. Some are, you need to like survive if you're playing in a mode where you're like survival mode. So like pigs or whatever. So you have to kill them to get meat, and then you have to build things to cook the meat. You can eat the raw pork, but on the same respect, it will be better for you in terms of there's a health point system. There's experience. There's all those general gaming things that you have to do to kind of survive. So there's that. And then the whole point is for you to build the things as grand as you want. And there
right,
is, depending on the size of the world that you've generated, they could be uber big. And then there are bad mobs like the zombies, the creepers, if you heard about them, the skeletons. Then there's
yeah,
variations they've added, like the skeleton horses. There is the very other bad mobs that come from different worlds. So there's the Nether portal, the Nether, which is basically the layer that's between. I guess the equivalent is like heaven versus hell kind of
yeah.
thinking, right?
They are below
You live
bedrock,
in
so
the
you keep,
overworld. There's another world below you that you physically cannot separate between the two. You can't like drill down through the bedrock and blast the bedrock and get into the netherworld. You can't. It's an inaccessible area unless you build a portal. And then that has its own, most of those mods, there's nothing good. There's zombie pigmen, and they won't bother you if you don't bother them. But if you do attack them, they're likely to kill you.
yeah,
Um,
they'll all come over and
right. They'll,
go. You know,
but they also drop a bunch of things that, again, this is the gamifying part of it. And then last, this is the end the Minecraft game thing is there's the end world. And that lives below, in terms of, if you're thinking about the stack, lives below the netherworld. And again, the two layers are not accessible. And so there is an end portal, and you can create your own end portal, right? But there are
no,
these,
you can only create your own end portal if you actually get like in creative mode and then build it.
right?
But if you want to find the end,
Mm-hmm.
you need to use the ender pearls and a blaze rod, like from one of the blazes
Right.
from the nether. There's like another mob from the nether.
Yeah.
You need to go there to get to the last dimension,
Right. Yeah.
which is the end.
Yeah. So you have to go through, and you have to kind of figure out whatever the challenge is, and have some ability to kill blazes, and they're I mean they're not easy to they'll come at you, right? And they all look different, right? There's blazes, and I don't want to get into all the kind of evil mobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot to digest there, and to be able to get into that end world, then there is the end, like that's the big boss challenge, right? There's a dragon, and
Yeah.
there's end cities, and there's like more than one. I don't think that world is that world's not as big, right? There's not a lot as much to discover there, is there?
Well, as soon as you get to the end, there is a tiny little thing that floats in the middle of the air.
Yeah,
Looks like it's made out of bedrock,
right.
and there's a tiny portal in the middle. And if you chuck one of those ender pearls into it,
Mm-hmm.
you teleport in there,
Yeah.
and then it lands in the end city. So you can teleport like 1,000 away from the center.
Yeah.
Then you get to the end cities.
Yeah.
There's like a ring around the end.
Right. And but in the overworld, that's the place that has the most generated map where you can discover, right? And I mean, if you really you want to totally cheat it, right? Diamonds are supposed to be rare; they're not supposed to be abundant. But you can go in and before you generate the world, you could make your whole world out of diamonds if you really cared. There would be no point in doing that, but you could, right? You can up all the values. And there are things to discover that you can't find easily. Like there are Minecraft, they have the rails and stuff. What do they call that?
Yeah,
Shafts.
a mine shaft.
Mine shafts.
Abandoned
Yeah.
mine shaft.
Not just like a dark tunnel somewhere, but like mine shafts. Like in the Minecraft realm that you had, and I hadn't gone over there yet, but I was floating around. I was a floating head in whatever game 3 is. What is that? That's
Observer.
observer mode. And so I was noticing I was in the water, and I was noticing, all the lava lighting up, and I was like, oh, there's some mine shafts down there. Oh, I should probably float over there and, see what's in there. But they were way underneath the ground in the mist around all this lava flow, and that's where it was randomly generated. And I would never have ever considered going down there or finding or looking to discover these anomalies if I wasn't in observer mode to do that. So, I mean, with that said, if you're just looking to burn a lot of time, there's Minecraft.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of time, and we talked about it for a long time.
Yeah, we did.
But I think it's it was well worth my $9 when I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I bought it way later, it was still worth my $27.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I think for the amount of money it costs is a very good value.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I want to complain a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine by
Talking about
me.
building things, there is an Ono printer. It was supposed to be delivered by the end of March. It has still not arrived, and I recently got an email saying they're still waiting on certain certifications again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'll have it maybe in March 2020. I think we'll get to Mars before I get this thing.
I don't get mad at me, John, but I'm glad I didn't spend any money on this, because I was looking, I was like, that looks pretty neat. Yeah. I don't know, might ruin my cell phone, but I don't know, maybe I wrestled with backing this thing.
Yeah, well, if they eventually do get it, I'll be very happy to actually have received it, but I'm getting less and less hopeful of it actually ever arriving. So yeah, Ono printer, if you ever do decide to give it to us, we've paid for it, so we might as well get it.
I have one that's like that. I think we're going on 2 years now. I don't know. I lost track of the timing on it, because I just at some point I never expected, and but I think they're honestly trying to get it done. But there is this. It was this portable Bluetooth keyboard that is also like a big touch pad. And the guy's original prototype was pretty neat. And then I think what happened is when they started building the thing, they found a manufacturer that took advantage of them and screwed
Yeah.
lots of stuff up. And then there's all the money went poof. And so
Yeah.
they've been working out of their own finances to build this thing. And so they keep having manufacture problems. And I don't know if it's engineering issues or what it is, but maybe it's just the thing they'll never ever ever give us, you know. But I spent like $120 or something. I didn't spend a tremendous. It's not like I spent $10,000 on a thing that I'll never see. Um,
Well, I didn't spend $10,000 on an Ono printer.
yeah,
I
yeah,
spent like 100 something.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'll never see that. I think I'll never see it, but maybe next year I'll see it, and it'll take 3 years, and maybe I've since then I've seen that feature show up on from Lenovo and from Dell and some other Chinese manufacturer, laptop makers. Like they've already put that functionality feature set into some like
Yeah.
concept design laptops. So what was a neat idea a couple years ago is probably never going to be materialized in my hands, like your Ono printer.
Yeah. Yeah. I might eventually get a DLP printer before I actually get the Ono. I think I might build my own at some point.
Hmm.
Just, I think I'm going to give up on this thing. They got us to send in our contact information
Yeah,
for the shipping last year.
yeah,
And there's going to be people that have moved since, right?
yeah.
So they haven't shipped. And there's no way to update your information anymore. So if you move somewhere, you're not going to get your printer.
Can you email them?
Probably, but from what I heard is that their responses has
Mhm.
been not that good.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching the video on it. This seemed to be a pretty impressive video and design and idea.
They've been showing it at maker fairs and stuff.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so if it's that good, why haven't I gotten it yet?
Yeah.
Right? Oh well. At least they're trying, I think.
Yeah, it is surprising how complex these things can get, and you just have to have the right team that can help you navigate the rough waters. And I think that's where things fall apart. And like I was talking about the guys in the Micron, the I forget what they were before, but they merged up with Alpine Labs and now they're Alpine Labs. And if they put something out, they I think I've had my experience has been they've slipped very little, and then they
Yeah.
produce a thing that's pretty good, and they know in the zone of what they do, they have figured that out, and anything they do, I'm gonna take a look at, and I might back, even if I might not need it, because I know they'll follow through and they won't have problems, and I'll get the product, and it'll be pretty awesome considering the cost of what I supported.
Yeah, I just don't hope that. I hope that these guys don't get swallowed up by some big 3D printer manufacturer,
No, then I'll,
like one of the bigger,
yeah,
like Stratasys or something like that, right? They don't really have a good reputation for
Right.
swallowing up
hmm
companies and keeping them going good. I think MakerBot was bought by them.
they were, yeah, they MakerBot sold themselves to them, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, speaking of buying things, I also bought a cheap ass acrylic printer clone. It's a clone of the Prusa i3, and I talked about this last episode. I've been building it. I haven't actually had that much time to build it, but so far it has been actually pretty easy to assemble. There's like a YouTube channel you follow, and it's so far it's been pretty good. I've gotten to the bottom part, and I've got the middle part where the printer head moves on. I've got that covered. So I still need to finish it, but like all my 3D printer builds, they might take a while.
What
But so far it's been good.
what's like acrylic? So Take me through that.
Yeah.
How's that different from the other 3D printers?
No, it's so the printer is built out of acrylic.
Got you.
It's not. It doesn't print acrylic, although it probably could.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I, based on that, I was like, is it printing acrylic? Like, how's that
No,
working?
no.
You
No,
know?
so they use laser cut acrylic.
Right, I got you. So
to build the 3D printer with.
got ya.
But it's like very thick
Instead
acrylic.
of
But if
like
you don't,
metal or right.
no, you can get this kit and then get an upgrade kit for it to build out of metal.
Right.
You could also do that, but this one was 189 euros
Oh, okay, that's
for
not bad.
an entire printer. That's not expensive.
Yeah.
Right, that's like 120 to 220 something in dollars.
What's the? Do you know what the cost is on that mono price one printer? That's
don't know.
that's like the cheapest but pretty good 3D printer that's out there that I've heard people talk about. Mono price.
You
Yeah.
know, I think it was about 300 something.
Yeah, maybe.
But these are very cheap. You can get them. Yeah, 300.
Yeah.
So, $299, $399, something like that. But these are the kits are not great, right? So the thing for this is get the kit, get it working, and then start upgrading it, right? So adding extra fans, replacing the bearings,
Got it.
replacing the extruder, and all the way up until you spent like $500-$600 for it on it, and then you have like the actual 3D printer you could have bought for the same price.
Right. Yeah. do you think this is like a good like bonding with your kids, like a family thing to do, like between like father and son or father and daughter or mother and son or whatever, like parent and child scenario?
If you are good with your hands, if you're good at like solving problems,
Yeah.
great. Otherwise, it's a very good way to get a family feud going. Because the instructions, I am technical enough to know when to adapt something in the instructions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people just want to follow the instructions, and they really shouldn't. Because there's places where they say, "Hey, use this screw and this thing."
I would.
This nut,
I would.
and then
Yeah.
they forget the spacers.
Yeah. I would.
Right, and you need to put the spacers in, otherwise you're going to crack the acrylic, and then you're going to be stuck with a printer
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
I want to correlate this with like software programming, right? When you know better, you know when, you know what the rules are. You're experienced enough, you know what the rules are, and then you know when to bend them, right?
You know when to improvise.
Right. You know when to improvise and how to do it, or how you do
Yeah.
it because you've hit this problem before and you found a really much better way of handling it and how you decide about it. Yep, got it.
Yeah, so I've got another. I have a metal hot end, full metal extruder hot end assembly thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have that laying around that I bought like 2 years ago, and I'm going to put that in there instead of the normal extruder. It's going to be a little bit more heavy, a little heavier, but eventually I think it will work. I just want to play with it, see what I can do, see if I can upgrade it.
Cool.
Okay, so do you want to go over the fun stuff, or do you have anything else?
No, I definitely don't. I mean, yes, I probably do, but let's move along. So what do you got?
Have you watched Rick and Morty?
I have. I haven't really watched past season 2 yet.
There is no season past season 2 yet.
Right. So what I'm saying is that like I barely even gotten into season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I haven't gotten past. I haven't. I watched season 1. I like some things about it. There's a lot of stuff I do not like about it. But I'm a fan of Dan Harmon, and generally I support most of the projects that he does. So I don't know if I'm a fan of him as a person, but I'm a fan of like the creative things that he's done, and so I like some things about it, and that's the only reason that I watched it. Yeah. So I'm not the biggest fan, but I definitely like it. I just have to take it in small pieces.
Yeah. Well, I binge watched Rick and Morty when I found out about it, so it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll go watch it.
Yeah.
But season 3 is coming out, and it's gonna come out at the end of July. So there's a trailer for it, Polymatic.link/7G, and I like it. I like it a lot. Pickle Rick. Really looking forward to this.
I've seen videos where people have done like very intelligent dissertations on the different Ricks and the different universes, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically putting putting logic and much more deeper thought and planning into into the show than I think that actually exists. I
Well, there is a lot of links between other shows, right?
Right,
There's a Gravity Falls. There's a link with that.
yeah.
Where there's actually parts of stuff that happens in Gravity Falls and ends up in Rick and Morty. You see it like pop through a portal somewhere. I like that. It's a
Yeah, I
it's
think
good to have fun with that.
it's kind of
stuff.
like what the original Family Guy was doing, at least in his first couple seasons, where it was just taking all the things that they love that was nostalgic and popping in a reference here and there. And if that's what's actually the only thing that's happening here, people might take that as a direct connection to something that might not exist. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Rick and Morty. I wouldn't compare Rick and Morty with Family Guy.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, that aspect of taking a nostalgic thought and saying, I like that one thing they did in Gravity Falls. Let me make a little, play homage to it.
The authors of like there's like 3 shows that are connected somehow.
Yeah.
And the authors of those shows actually communicate with each
they
other
collaborate.
to get that stuff in
Okay.
there.
I mean, then maybe there truly is a connection.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting that it's kind of like, behind the scenes, there's way more depth apparently in Rick and Morty that you don't see on the surface.
And Rick and Morty is, of course, it's more serialized, and there's more of a I don't think serialized is the right word. It's more of an actual arc going over the season.
It's episodic.
So
it's episodic, right? It has like Babylon 5. It has a beginning and end, right? Everything is related to each other in some fashion or another. Yeah.
Okay.
I got one. This is really. I watched the most recent video a day or so ago. On YouTube you only get like a few minute snippets. You get a introduction of who this person's going to talk with, an interview, and then you might get maybe 10 minutes worth of content. But there's this website which I believe, Off Camera is a YouTube channel, and I believe it actually is correlated to something that's exclusive, like it's a show that's exclusively available on a cable network somewhere that I don't have access to. So Off Camera, and so there's this guy Sam Jones, and I don't really remember exactly what his background is, but he's been in sort of media and Hollywood for a long time, and he has these very good, I would say intimate, very good, articulate and intimate conversations with celebrities and people that are in a creative position professionally. Everything from a name you'll know to a name you might not know. And it's good interview show. And they come in small snippets on YouTube, and I just wanted to recommend the channel. And Zoe, the person that was just recently that I saw, I'm going to pay attention to what she's doing because she's very good at articulating what she's thinking. And I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job of that here, but I was impressed by her, and I really enjoy sort of the subtlety of this interview show. Have you looked at anything on that channel?
No, I saw it was a channel. I was like, okay, I'll look at this later because I don't have enough time to watch this right now.
It's old enough that there's lots of little snippets, and if you do subscribe to it, what you'll see is the 30 seconds for of the person they're going to talk with, little snippet from that, little get you interested, and then a couple days later, you'll have anywhere from a few minutes and a couple of those videos, or at the very worst case, like most recently with Zoe, there is a 3-minute, a 3-minute, and a 3-minute in 3 different videos. I'm sure it's coming from like a half hour, but these are just the snippets, and I think those are enjoyable on their own.
So that's Polymatic link /7Q.
Yes, Q, not K.
And my the video for the trailer was 7G.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, I've got another channel to recommend.
Yeah.
Where's Poppy? She travels a lot. I mean, a lot. And she's in China right now, I think. That was one of the latest videos about how China is different than you think. So it was interesting to watch. Polymatic.media/7H. She's a professional traveler.
Yeah, I
Whatever that
took a look
means.
at the channel, and the first thing to get hit is her complaining about how she's not a professional traveler. And I was like, I don't know who this person is. So that was not a good starting video for her to advertise her channel. To like,
Well, I think it's an old video,
oh, okay.
but hey,
Yeah.
just
Okay. Then I'll have to deep dive into something more recent to see if I can figure out who Poppy is.
where she is.
So this is a trailer, and I'm pretty convinced it's not for a movie. I'm pretty sure it's for a TV show that's going to be on
Well, it
American
was
TV.
it was going to be a movie, and then they eventually turned it into a series.
Right.
But the first episode, I think, is going to show up in the cinemas.
Before we forget, Where's Poppy was polymatic.link/7H, if that wasn't said.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm interested. Inhumans is a phrasing that they use for basically mutants in the TV show in the Marvel universe called Agents of Shield. And
Well, I think Inhumans also was like separate from
was
the
it?
X-Men, so it was actually
I thought I heard
already a
some
separate thing.
stuff that they used that as like copyright. Like they had to create some other thing because of the mutants and X-Men and all of the legality or something associated with it. So instead of calling them mutants, they called them Inhumans in the TV show, and that's how they got
Well,
past
they
the
they started
legalese.
first appeared in Fantastic Four in
Really?
2065.
Okay. So
So yeah,
so
they've been around for a bit.
yeah. So nonetheless, that's a component of Agents of Shield, the TV show here, and now they're gonna have a new TV show, Inhumans. And the thing is, in the trailer, this is a trailer, polymatic.link/7R. In the trailer, there's a guy who I know that actor as Ramsay, from Game of Thrones. So I don't know if I like that guy. You really don't like that guy. Like you won't love that guy at all, as an individual. So I don't know if I'll like this guy in the TV show or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
I haven't
nevertheless,
watched Game of Thrones, so
yeah,
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
yeah. One day you'll see it. You can marathon
Uh,
it.
yeah. Um. Okay, so I went through the car wash and made a video out of that.
Yeah.
Polymac link slash
I'm
seven
telling you,
I
it's like space reentry, except it's only
With
a
soap.
car wash.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was the video we were talking about earlier. So.
Yeah. It's good. I watched it. I was like, it sounds like space reentry. It looks like space reentry.
And I don't think that car has the power to get into orbit. So
I know. Though we get to the end of it, though it's clearly you're not in space. Yeah. But it's imagine if someone could put a GoPro on the heat shield on the bottom of a capsule re-entering, right? That's what it sounds like and looks like in the very middle of John's video. So that was polymatic.link/7I. Okay, so I call this Startup Planet, but I thought this was interesting. There's on Bloomberg, they do lots of stuff. They're actually a real network or cable network here in the U.S. and they put videos out on YouTube. And there's this guy Ashley Vance. I've not read his books, but anytime he does a long length video, in this case I think 16 or 17 minutes, he does sort of a series called Hello World that I really like when he does them. And it's sort of like I don't know how to explain it. It's just these little long length videos on YouTube, and this happened to catch my attention. And this is about a company called the company is called Planet,
yeah.
and they've been making space things for a while. And now what they're doing is they're making space things, and they're using
Satellites.
India's space agency basically to deploy the satellites. And so this is just a few minutes of talking about how they're going to deploy 100 plus something imaging satellites to kind of map the world
Daily.
daily.
Yeah.
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 And so Polymatic.link/7S. And if you see anything, if you like this, I would recommend you go dig around in Bloomberg's site. They got a lot of content, and look for anything that's the Hello World series by Ashley Vance. Good stuff. I always really enjoy it.
And then I doubled up another video, and I thought, hey, I didn't put that in there. I already did.
Yeah. So I guess this goes right back to me. There's
Yep.
This is just a short little video. Here's my recommendation. My warning is mute all your personal assistant devices. I mean
Headphones.
your iPhones, your Android phones with your OK Google, if you have a Google Home, and
Thank you.
and or also a Echo, right? Just mute that first, or listen to this in headphones. Polymatic.link/7T.
I think you already triggered like 3 other devices right now.
Oh, really? Sorry. So 7T as in like Tom. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of funny that someone had all three. Well, they had all the things and set them into an infinite loop.
Yeah. It got boring after like the first loop. So.
Yeah, I know, but it's cute. You could see, it's like, okay, got it. Yeah, that's interesting, neat. Yeah, wonderful. They're using the disadvantage of these devices.
So there's a guy called Henry Wright, and he does he has a YouTube channel called Minute Physics, and he did a video about the mountain, if it's a mountain or a valley. If you look from the top, sometimes it's hard to see if it's a mountain or a valley from a space-based,
Or cartography perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes into why you see it that way or the other way. Polymatic link/7K, and I finally get a K link. Yes!
What's your big thing about the K links?
Well, you had the 4K, you had the 6K, you had the 7.
No, you got the 7K.
2K, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'm not heading for that. I'm just making links. I bet you, John's like, I can imagine the day you just go to the database like, I'm making that a K.
Changing the database. Yep.
No. Okay, so this was a video that I don't know when I bookmarked this, but I thought this was kind of interesting. The idea with like Teslas, it's a really neat idea, but you definitely need a way to fuel up. And unless you own, like if you're in apartment living, unless you have a garage that has the ability to tap in your Tesla, how do you charge that thing, right? So most people can go ahead and they can modify their garage or something if they physically own a house or a building, and they can go ahead and they can modify where they can put in the tap so that they can charge up their car. But if you're going across country, even though the range on Tesla's average is about 200 miles average or higher, how do you go cross country? Well, there's a bunch of Tesla power stations, right? That's not the right verbiage. I can't think of it right now. So they went and they decided to go from, I believe, San Francisco to New York with a Tesla. And here's the video, polymatic.link/7U. I enjoyed it. And it also gave me some insight that if you ever do want to take a long trip with something like that, as it is today, it's very feasible. And apparently they're going to be doubling the Tesla, whatever, the supercharger stations across the country, here at least in the U.S.
Yeah. There was I saw a video about some guy who was making friends with wild ravens and how he did that. Polymatic link/7L. And he goes into that he gets roadkills and stuff, and he gets them near the ravens that he wants to befriend, and then they finally start doing things. So Polymatic link/7L.
Interesting. Okay, so this was just a Kickstarter that already happened, funded. I just thought it was interesting, and this is why I linked to it. Johto. So John's making a face. I just thought it was kind of neat, but basically it's it's like the idea of a whiteboard with the kind of gear that you put in like a 3D printer, right? Where you can send somebody a pic and it would draw on the whiteboard. Basically, print on your
Yeah.
whiteboard. Johto, Polymatic.link/7V as in Victor. I thought it was interesting. I would not buy one because I don't live in an office space or any kind of scenario where this makes the most sense, but I thought it was kind of cool.
I think that this is like when there's like a movie that comes out and it's like really, it's like this, but with this.
Right, yeah.
That's what this product is. A whiteboard that automatically draws stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay,
It's expensive.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's expensive. It's not cheap. If this was like $100 thing, then all of us would buy a novel one, and we'd be,
Yeah.
people would be drawing penises and sending it to each other's whiteboards.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
That
people
escalated.
would be pranking each other, right? But it's
Yeah.
not. It's an expensive device, and I think their angle is for like an office environment where you really need to be collaborative, right? That's cool. I got it. But I don't know. I thought it was neat.
Yeah, you need an app to draw on your whiteboard. Sure. Elon Musk was recommending some games. Somebody asked him during an interview
Yep.
what kind of games he likes. Polymatic.link/7, and apparently he's a fan of Overwatch. So, go check it out. It's actually pretty funny.
So this is just a sort of a random video. I didn't know this was a thing, but this is a thing in Asia. Apparently people are making robots to do sort of like a sumo thing, robotic
Yeah, the
sumo.
thing has been over Twitter for like, I think the last 2 weeks has been. Keep seeing these gifs of people, of those robots attacking each other and throwing them outside of the ring.
Well, this
Actually-
is I don't know if it's the original video, but I
Yeah, this
bookmarked
is the
it.
original. Yeah.
But I bookmarked it a long while ago at polymatic.link/7W.
Okay. There is a channel called I don't know. It's another one of those physics.
It comes out of the
chemistry
Nottingham University, right? This is the periodic something. I can't remember.
yeah.
I'm subscribed to this channel as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So they talk about plutonium and why it's such dangerous stuff. Polymatic.link/70. They go into stuff like how they get rid of it or how they extract it from some other stuff.
It's
Interesting stuff.
it it puts a perspective back. Like, I'm subscribed to Cody's Lab, right? And so you see sort of like when he gets gold out of the dirt or even iron or lead, like it's an alchemy thing. They use various chemicals to break them down, to reassemble them, to then
chemistry.
yeah,
Alchemy is something completely different.
Well, but this show here is the one professor. He talks to you a lot about like the chemistry of things and his great white hair.
Yeah.
He's got this
everywhere.
He's got this fro. It's really interesting. He's a character alone in himself. All right, so that was what polymatic.link/70 about plutonium.
An auto, not zero.
Yeah. Oh, as in yes, as in auto, as in orange.
Yep.
Okay, so moving along, I had a video. Again, don't know the age of when, but it's really kind of just talking about like why is GPS free? GPS came from the U.S. and military systems, and eventually was opened up to the world, or at least a very high level free version of it. And we use GPS globally everywhere in everything. And so this is just a video that gives you a little insight on that. Polymatic.link/7x. If you're interested in things, you might be curious. And I don't know. I just thought it was a neat video. Did you have a chance to look at this?
Yeah, but I think I already saw it before.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I knew a fair amount about this stuff before, but I just thought it was interesting that this put a consolidation on it, and anyone can digest, consume.
Yeah. Okay. So I have another video. I've been checking this channel out for a bit. It's actually pretty funny. His channel is called Captain Disillusion. And he goes into all sorts of fake viral videos and he deconstructs them and what they did, how they did it.
Yeah.
There was a video with a superhuman tape measure. They shoot out the tape measures and they turn off lights and knock over things.
Yeah,
and, get keys from on the other side of the room. And it was really, 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 really fake. But he deconstructs how they did it. So that's Polymatic.link/7p. And he has a lot of other videos about, fake stuff and people who claim to see UFOs. And then, this kind of, they just did this in, Premiere or After Effects or something like that. Yep. Then he goes into how they actually did it.
That's cool.
Polymatic.link/7p.
Yeah, I didn't know about this guy, but I'll have to check out his site. I did watch how he was deconstructing, but yeah, I mean, it's obvious video, film stuff. I technically understand why there are people out there who go out of the way to fake things because they get views, they put advertising on it, and technically it's not like illegal by any kind of law, and it's some form of entertainment, but in the same respect, they make money from your attention of watching it.
Well, in this case, it was actually an advertisement campaign. So,
right, yeah. So no, I just, I don't know. So I understand when you see channels are trying to fake and make you believe something, but ultimately, you by believing it and watching it again and again makes them money. So... anyway, that was Polymatic.link/7p. All right, so I guess the last one we got, and this is, let me say this is pretty lame, but I thought this was interesting. And it's a do-it-yourself projector using your smartphone. Polymatic.link/7y. So if you're capable of building things and you're comfortable with building things and you want to try something, this is not, you're not going to spend a lot of money on this. This is not going to be better than you buying a $300 Pico projector. Let me just say that.
Yeah, this is going to be much worse.
It's going to be much worse. But, again, if you're curious.
I mean, if you have a really dark room.
Yeah. Well, it's the same problem.
You can do this.
Yeah, well, it's the same problem with the Pico projectors. Like, you see them, like, they're really super portable. They're not even barely 1K resolution, and then you go, well, that'd be kind of cool. I could spend $500 on that guy, and I could take it to a hotel room when I'm traveling, and I can watch my things on a wall. But you got to have a really dim situation. Pico projectors, the technology is awesome, but in normal living situation, you wouldn't want to make that your home theater projector. Yeah. This is for like that in a boardroom where everyone can, make the room dark enough.
Oh no, you don't want to use this in a boardroom. Definitely
not this thing. No. This is not professional
Janky,
at all. No, this would be lame.
Okay, so that's Polymatic.link/7y.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we got I got one thing to share for books. I listened to this a while ago. It's called the Fear Saga. It's like 3 books: Fear the Sky, Fear the Survivors, and Fear the Future. It's about a kind of a slacker astronomer who's using some military telescopes, radio telescopes to check some stuff out, and he sees something heading for Earth, and it turns out in 11 years' time, there's going to be a giant armada that's going to arrive and wipe the humans off the planet. To make sure that happens, the aliens send a team of sort of human form robots. They look like humans, but they have really black eyes. So that's kind of cool. And then they want to try to get hold of the military and the nukes. And then that guy needs to find a way to prevent that from happening. And it's a very good, if you like military sci-fi, this is definitely for you. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's Polymatic.link/80.
Awesome. All right, so we have some music corner.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm starting out. There's an artist that's generally in my playlist occasionally. I discovered him, I think, through SoundCloud, actually. And it's called Apollo Limited. Here's just a link to their channel. There's not much there, but polymatic.link/7z, as in zipper.
I think this links to an actual video.
Right,
not
yeah.
a channel.
Is it actual video or is it one of those just still image with a song?
I think it's still image with a song.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not the channel. Yeah.
Yeah, but I believe it should go to their channel, I believe. But nonetheless, Apollo Limited is an artist that I like. It's not so bad, and it's not so girl power energy like it was last week, the last show.
Okay. Well, this goes to a video with the song, and it kind of reminded me of something. Because I told Alan before we started, it's like Coldplay with kazoos. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
So there's a video, Polymatic link /82.
Right.
It just reminded me of this.
I'll have to check this out.
You should go check that out afterwards.
Is it really Coldplay with kazoos?
No. This is not Coldplay with kazoos.
Okay.
It's just some girl with a kazoo and a guitar.
That's going to be interesting.
I did listen to it. I don't think it's my kind of thing. It has something, but the kazoo thing that just really messed with me.
Well, yeah,
okay.
I mean, what you see on their YouTube channel is not like their full album. They have they're more in like, male rock kind of sound. Yeah. So it might not be your thing, but I just figured like, all right, I'll share another artist. I got more.
I'll link the channel in the video description or the description on the website.
Okay, cool.
Just to be sure. And then a new album of Danger came out. Actually, his first album. Before that is all EPs. Polymatic link /7E, and one of the tracks on it I really like is 59. So he names all his tracks after when they are finished. So when he finishes at like 59, the track is called 59.
I guess that's the easy way of naming your songs.
Yeah, it's kind of like Deadmau5 does kind of something like that. He just, something like Cat Thruster or something like that on his latest album. So he has weird track names too. But for that track, it's Polymatic link /7M.
Okay, cool. And that was 7E and 7M.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess we're done.
We're done. Like 2 hours later.
No, it's 1 hour 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CHAESS. That's my last name. I'm still on Mastodon, though it seems to have quieted down. But that's a good way to find me.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at WebDevy, WEBDEVVIE. You can find our social links on polymatic.social. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@polymatic.media, and please do send something in. Our Twitter is @thepolymatic, and our website is polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time. Bye-bye.
The music in this episode was by Say Uns. It was licensed under Creative Commons Attribution and found on the Free Music Archive. You can find these tracks at shorter.com/BRK.